this will be about yesterday and today, because yesterday, oh my god, it was yesterday. It feels like it was so long ago. It feels like it was so long ago. Yesterday I left Gunma and I took the airplane to Kushiro, and there I found the plan was to go to a guest house at Lake Furen, but it said like 14 hours. I was like, no, I need to get there tonight. So it wasn't possible because there are no late trains, which is kind of funny because it feels like Japan should have trains all the time. But of course, Hokkaido isn't maybe as trafficked as Tokyo. So Tokyo is maybe the worst place to compare everything else with, because Tokyo isn't necessarily the norm for the entirety of Japan. But I went to Kushiro Airport, and then I was going to stay at a guest house there. She recommended it, but it was a little bit far to walk, and it isn't far, but that backpack, like that big one, do you have any idea how heavy that is? It's so heavy. I hate it. So it's like no, ain't gonna, like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever he said, the walk is like impossible. Ain't happening with that one. So I chose a guest house which was closer, and it looked it looked much nicer than the first one that she recommended. Like if you saw the short, you saw like the common area. I was like, it looks super cozy. I've been at hostels and cheap hotels. Looks like shit. This looks super nice, and it cost me 3,500 yen for one night, which is like, reasonable. I'm happy. And then there were other people in the room, which I'm not as happy with, and I think in the future I'm just gonna pay more money to get a separate room because I don't feel comfortable. I mean, it was safe, nothing happened. I don't think I got robbed. I mean, I got my passport and wallet back and everything. Then if someone has opened it and stolen some money, I wouldn't know because I don't know exactly how much I had. But, and did you know, I checked this up just the other week when I met Tiana. Tokyo, Japan is the safest city in the world, 2023. And Osaka, Japan is the third safest. So Japan has the first and third place in, the safest cities in the world. And no, I'm not in Tokyo or Osaka now, but I still think that counts. If there's any country I feel safe in, it's here. I feel more safe with having my things here, sharing a room here in Japan than I would in Sweden. Never in a million years in Sweden. I would not trust that. Or in most other countries, actually. But I wasn't that comfortable with it. But like I said, it was reasonable price, and they didn't have any elevator, so that was annoying. And finding the place, Google Translate says, go here. I went there. It was wrong, so I went somewhere else, and there's like, couldn't find it. Then I went into some restaurant, which was closed, but there was like a janitor, and I was like, kono basho wa doko desu ka? And then he was like, but if you follow this road, and I had to go back. And it wasn't super far away from the actual place, but it's so heavy. Bear in mind, it's almost 9 in the evening. I have basically passed through half of Japan, going to the airport, the stress of the airport. I was like, why did I fly? I really regretted it. Like, why do I need to go to Hokkaido and then I'm gonna fly to Okinawa? I was like, no, fly, because I don't want to have the stress of flying. And I panicked at the airport. Yeah, I was gonna tell you about it later. Now is later. So when you are at the security check, I had checked in the big monster of a suitcase, and then I had my little orange one, my hand baggage. And you can have a hand baggage plus one extra item, and there was like, and like in the pictures, like the extra item could be like one laptop baggage, or like one little handbag, or one umbrella. And I'm like, because like partly that I have my backpack, which is a normal backpack, but it's fully packed with stuff. So I had that, and then I had my camera bag, and I was like, I can't, I'm not gonna throw out my camera. That ain't happening. It's like, do I need to throw out some of the things in my hand baggage so I can put the camera in there so it's not an extra bag? Like, I was so scared. And like, why is this now at the very security check-in before? Like, couldn't they have told me this information earlier? so I could maybe plan because I can't stand there and do it all. But it was fine. They let me go through. It was not a problem. So that was such a relief. Speaking of flying, it's so funny flying to Hokkaido. It's so extremely weird because usually you take the airplane and you go to your place where you're going to have your vacation, and then you have your vacation and then you fly home. But I flew with my airplane to my location, Japan, and then I'm in Japan, and then I take the plane inside of Japan to another place in Japan. It's like you know those babushka dolls, like a doll inside a doll inside a doll inside a doll. So it's like I'm taking a trip inside my trip, and then when I go from Hokkaido to Okinawa, I'm gonna take a trip inside my trip inside my trip, and I think that's very, very funny. But yeah, I wasn't gonna talk too much about that. So backtrack the hostel. Yeah, so it looked very nice. It was affordable. I didn't get anything stolen, far as I know. And it looked kind of cool when I got into the room. I don't have any good pictures, but everyone was sleeping, so I didn't want to turn on the lights and like film. Just like I don't want to wake up like 3 people just to do that. I did think about it, but then I was like, of course not. I'm not gonna do that. But the bed was very hard, so I thought that was very much a minus. It's like I was laying on like the wooden brädor, wooden planks on the bed. Like that's kind of how bad it was. And I usually don't have a problem with sleeping on a hard bed. It's fine for me generally. But that one, that's a big minus for that hostel, guest house, whatever it was called. And then the second bad thing was that in the room besides, they were talking and I could hear every single word. And like for an hour, I was like, should I go and tell them? I was like, no. But then I actually need to go to the bathroom. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go in there. And they said, oh, sumimasen, onryo sagete kudasai. Like, can you please lower the volume? And he was like, sumimasen. But then when I went back in, they kept talking. And yes, he did lower his voice a little bit, but they just kept talking. And even like now I'm lowering my voice, but even if they are talking like this, I can still hear every single word. And it's really, really, really annoying. Because I usually have a hard time sleeping. And things like that, talking. If it's just like for example now, this thing there, heating thingy, it's buzzing, but it's just a constant sound, so it's not as annoying, but with words it goes very annoying. So that I did not like. But one plus thing about the hostel again is that it was actually warm. It was warm in the room, and with the blanket it was actually very warm. So I was scared it was going to be, I was going to be freezing a bit. But it was fine. And then I went to bed at like 8, 9. Yeah, I went to bed at 8, but I couldn't sleep probably until 9. Then I woke up at 11 because they were still talking and I was so warm. And then I woke up at like 8 or something, at like 1, and then I woke up at like 3, and I was like, no, I still have like 1 hour more to go, yay. Because I went up 4:20 because I need to be at the station 5:35 or 5:35, the train leaves. And it says it will take 10 minutes from that hostel to the station, but with that suitcase, it's not gonna take 10 minutes. It's not. I think it took like 25, because I can walk like 20 meters ish. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And then I have to stop and maybe switch arms, but you can't switch arms with that one. I need to have it in my right one because the left one is not as compatible. Because it's a stupid suitcase. So that was a very struggle this morning. That's what I was going to say. When I was trying to find the hostel, I did not find it. And then after coming back to the exact same spot twice, it's like, but this is not here. It's supposed to be here. Google Maps says it is here. I might have broken down and cried. Because it's cold. It's very, very cold. It's like, I don't know, 5-6 minus degrees, windy, very snowy, very icy. I'm very tired. I just want to get inside. I know I need to get up very early. I was very scared I wasn't going to be on time today. And then I can't find the place. I've been walking around 2 times. It's super heavy to drag around. I dragged around it a lot unnecessarily. So yeah, I was very sad for a while. Turns out the place was, I actually passed the place looking for it because it wasn't super obvious where it was, and Google Maps was, it was like, you're here, just kidding, you're here, no, you're actually here, no, you're here. So it was very hard to know where I actually were. But yeah, back to today. Yeah, so the alarm goes off at 4:20. I go up, fix myself, drag those suitcases the horribly long way to the station. And the station is not open. Like, please open the station now. It doesn't open until 5:20, and I was there at 5 because I want to be early because I need to be on time. We were gonna meet at 9:30 today. So another Japanese guy in an orange jacket. We started talking because we were the only two ones there, and we were actually gonna go to the same place. So it's kind of funny. It's like 2.5 hour drive with the train, and we were gonna get off at exactly the same station. So we talked for a little bit. Nothing else to do, so we talked for 20 minutes, and then we were let inside, and he helped me with the ticket and helped me a little bit with my luggage. I was like, no, you don't have to, but he was like, yep. So he did that, and we went on the train, and I said it in my short, but he gave me one of these, and you know what? It's still warm. This is still warm. 5:30. 5:30. The train left the station. He gave me this pretty much after I sat down. I have no idea why, but he just gave it to me. So I was like, thank you. Like this and an extra one. And it's so good. Like 5:30, it's still warm. Do you have any? It's 8 o'clock in the evening. Like, that's crazy. It's like 14 hours and it's still very warm. Like, it's crazy. Like, this is the best shit ever. This is the best warm thingamajiggy I've ever had. It's usually like 4 to 6 hours or just very short, like 15 minutes. This one's amazing. So I'm very happy for it actually, because it's helped me throughout the day, because it's been cold. It's been like -8 degrees plus wind. So yeah, and it's so much winter here. It's more winter here than in Sweden. Maybe if you live in the north of Sweden, it's as much winter, but Stockholm, no. Like this cold, no. But it's nice. It's very beautiful, and like hopefully I can show it tomorrow. But just going by car, you see these massive, huge, beautiful mountains in the distance. I mean, when you're on the mainland of Japan, you also see, like, or in Gunma, like, you see mountains, but it's not the same. These are, like mountains. You know, when you lay like a puzzle, like those kinds of mountains you see in the distance. It's so beautiful. I mean, just for that view in the car, seeing those mountains, like, yeah, it was worth paying for the air ticket and being here. And I'm gonna freeze my ass off for 2 weeks, but totally worth it just to see those mountains. So beautiful. And I'm kind of happy to be able to see Hokkaido in its winter state, because I don't think most tourists don't really come here, and especially not winter time. So it feels like I'm part of something special, and that I get to see this very beautiful place in its very beautiful winter shape. So that's very nice. And I asked her, how much winter do you have? And she was like, yeah, half of the year is winter. I was like, no. But that it starts getting cold in October, and that it's cold until April. It's like kind of the same in Sweden, but it's more like autumn in October. But November can be very, very cold, and then yeah, we can have snow up until April. It's not, I don't know if it's common or not, but we have had snow in April. So I guess it's kind of the same here. Oh, and I saw the deer on the train, so that was very, very nice. But anyways, speed forward. I made it to, I can maybe even show you. So here we have a map, and then, oh, vänta. Yeah, where I have this finger, that's Kushiro. That's where I landed. And then I went here to Lake, what was it called? Lake Nemuro? Lake Nemuro? Like the lake?
The lake we went to?
With the eagles.
Lake Furen.
Furen. Hi. Thank you. So we went to Lake Furen, where they have like wild eagles that you could watch. And I actually got to borrow a pair of binoculars. Because I was like, I don't have a binoculars, but I'm not going to bring a pair from Sweden just because I'm going to go eagle watching one day, you know. But we got to borrow. And it was so cool to see the eagles because there was taxan. It was so many of them, so many eagles. Just like when I say many, I don't mean like 3 or 5. I mean like 20. It's like 10, 15 just chilling on the lake, sitting on the ice. And then just a few flying around like, well, seriously? And it's funny because here, this is the guest house I was gonna stay at, which I wasn't gonna make it to in time. But when we passed here, there were so many eagles here. I kind of wished we had stopped along there because they were much, much closer there. Wow, I was like, I like instant regret. I was like, I could have gotten so good pictures. But I was cold and I didn't want to ask her, so. But yeah, it would have been amazing shots, but doesn't matter. I mean, I got to see them quite close, especially through the binoculars, and it's really cool because it's seldom you see big eagles, and here was so many of them just naturally chilling at this place. So if you're into birds, go there. I recommend. They often have bird watching things, and she says that this bird watching tour we did, it gets full booked like that. So she booked this. Like I said, this is booked like 2-3 months ago. So because it's immediately. So that was fun, and then like at that place we met up with some of her friends. So one of her Japanese friends, Miki, and then Miki and her daughter, and then 2 Americans, which both of them are English teachers and have lived in Japan for 5 years. So it was Larry and Michael, I think. So we went eagle watching with them. I bought a very, like they have this very, so perfect that I have everything here. She has, maybe I can show, lots of brochures about everything. So she's been showing me around like what I can do in the area. But this little bird, see, it's so cute. That's the little bird I have that I bought from the Gachapon, by the way, like the cute little white bird. That's my pencil holder. That's the same one. So I bought a thing with that bird because I think it's adorable. That's I want to see one for real when I'm here. That's definitely on my bucket list. My Hokkaido bucket list. It's so cute. Anyways, back to topic, Victoria. Focus. But yeah, we met her friends there, and then we went to this sushi place, and I asked if they had other things that isn't sushi. I prefer my food cooked. I can eat sushi if I have to, but I just don't like it that much. But I don't like raw fish and things like that. But as you could see from my shorts, there were other things as well. And they said, no, there's lots of other things. And you know what the best part is? Like when I was gonna pay, I was so happy. It was like 1,000 yen. Like, you serious? Like I got all of that, you know, plus dessert for 1,000 yen. It's like 90 kronor ish something. It was like, yeah, so worth it. So worth it. Thank you, Japan. And I got to try some new things, or like the sweet rice thing in inari, maybe it was called. Like I haven't eaten that for like 5-6 years. Like natsukashi. It was super nice. And then we went to Miki's parents' home. Why, I don't really know, but we went there, and then we just sat and talked for a few hours, and they served tea and sponge cake, which they made, and other cakes, and then I got some green tea, and we talked about language learning, since 2 of them are language, they teach English, and I teach Swedish, if you didn't know. Victoria the Swede, you know. But yeah, and they had learned Japanese, and the Japanese had learned English, so it was very fun. And her parents' house, it was so beautiful. I will keep this super short, but it's like my dream house, like wood everywhere. Like it was a wooden house, and it was so beautiful. It's like, I love this house. It's so beautiful. Oh, and she had made, like to the sponge cake, she had made like blueberry jam. And then each of us got our own bottle, like a big bottle, of blueberry jam. I was like, thank you. I love blueberries. I love blueberry jam. So it was super nice of her. Just talking. They're awesome people, nice and fun to hang out with. So it was a really, really fun day, and they were like, "Oh, do you drink?" I don't know why people ask that, but so maybe we're gonna go out drinking someday. Like they're like, "Oh, we gotta do something, before I leave the area." So that's also super nice. Kind of like I talked about before about how things just it's all coming together, as Kronk would say. But things showing up, and then your days being filled with activities or people, and it's so fun to do something together with other people. I do enjoy my alone time and traveling alone, but it's very nice to have people as well to do it with. So it's been super fun today. And now ska vi se. Nej, det kan jag inte göra. Okay, intressant. So here's like a bigger map of Nihon. And then I live kind of here right now, like there-ish, like in between the pink and the green. I live kind of here. And tomorrow I'm thinking about visiting, well, I'll just show you. The Little Blue Lake is like very famous. Lake Mashu, and Mount Iyo is very close to there, and I might also go snowshoe hiking as well. So that's my plan for tomorrow, if it's good weather. Otherwise, I actually don't know what I will do, but I will probably do that tomorrow. So that's very exciting. Yeah, and they have bears here that are apparently very vicious, so that's interesting. But it would be so cool to go see a bear. This orange area here, like at the tip of Hokkaido. Yeah, here you have Hokkaido for you, those of you. Please focus. Well, don't focus then, but this is Hokkaido. It's very big, like Hokkaido is like as big as the main island of Japan. So it's very huge, actually. Well, now it's not focusing anywhere. Yeah, but this orange part here, she said that's like the Alaska of Japan, and that is like super wild, and there are bears there. So it's like, ooh, I kind of want to go, but it's also going to be super cold, and it's kind of far away. But we'll see. But yeah, so today was really fun. It was fun to meet my host, and well, as you can see, I'm in a new place. So yeah, it's very cold, but I love the winter landscape. I'm looking forward to taking some great pictures and show you those beautiful, beautiful mountains. And I definitely want to come back here in the summertime, because there's so much to see here, many beautiful places, and I hope to show you some of them. So that was me signing out. Bye bye.